6 weeks preparation for animals is us adding a chemical that mimics ammonia. When you put fish into a tank, they're going to produce ammonia, and that is a toxic substance to fish. You need a good bacterial basis to cycle that ammonia into non-toxic forms, and we do that by adding a chemical that will turn into ammonia in the water, and that will feed the bacteria that we need to grow, and that way when we put fish in there, the bacteria exists, and we won't have an increase in ammonia levels in the tank. What happens behind the scenes in an aquarium is absolutely amazing. Visitors will come and they'll see the pretty fish, but to realize just how much hard work it takes to not only build it, but then to maintain it is absolutely amazing to me every single day. It's a wonder.
Determining how much of the aquarium is made up of salt water and how much is fresh water goes back to the design of the aquarium. From inception, the developers decided not to restrict the Newport Aquarium to the presentation of fish from one particular region.
There's terrific diversity here. You have exhibits from all over the world, and I don't think people are going to expect that. A lot of aquariums focus on the local wildlife, but here they decided not to do that, and even though there is a good conservation message and there is a lot of local wildlife and fishes here, it's going to be also fishes from all over the world. When we decided our species list, what we had to do is first of all decide what environment we wanted to target, and then we wanted to look for fish that were colorful, that were going to show well, but also they had to belong in that environment. So you're always looking for fish that, if you're doing a community tank, they've got to be peaceful fish. You can't have a real aggressive guy in there beating everyone else up. You're looking to make sure that they're a bit on the hardy side. I mean, we definitely exhibit some more delicate animals here, but for the most part, you don't want to bring an animal in that you know you can't keep.
I think people will be really surprised by the exhibits. They're very colorful. They have what we call highlight species, which is to say, in our industry, there are certain animals that every aquarium has on its sort of hit list to have because they really make an impact, and we seem to have almost all of them. We have electric eels, we have sharks, we have penguins, we have octopuses, we have piranhas, so on down the line.
The first fish to arrive in Newport came from South America. Shipped via the airlines, an anxious staff was on hand to receive the precious cargo.
What I'd like to do is just sort them by what tank they're going into and kind of lay them next to the tanks.
Okay.
And then as soon as we figure out where everybody's going, go ahead and open up the bags, get them in the white barrels, and then start the acclimation process. Fish, as a waste product, they produce ammonia. And that ammonia will build up in those fish bags, and it'll make the water quality go downhill. So what happens then is your fish start breathing rapidly. I mean, how's the water look? Is it look as stale as the other stuff? Usually the oxygen in the bag itself is good enough, but when the shipment's delayed, like this one was a little bit, that starts to go down. Fish are gaping, their gills are really spread wide. Also, their color doesn't look good.
Those are your...
Brightcon melanopterus.
Those are Brightcon?
I think so, unless they're chalceus. Yeah. No, they're chalceus. There was some confusion trying to decide which fish were what fish, because instead of having these bright colors, which the Amazon fish have, they became kind of gray and dull and white, and they had all kinds of stress patterns on them, so they didn't look like they would normally.
Oh, you get the baby piranhas.
The bags are broke open and they're allowed to swim in there in the water that was in the bags, and then we start a slow drip from the tank water into the tubs, and that drip is an acclimation drip, and that gets them used to the new water, and that's our way of trying to ease that transition. So once the fish are about 50-50 with each water, or once the temperature is within 2 degrees, we then start putting the fish into the tanks.
Unlike fish, the electric eels require special handling.
We have rubber gloves because they are capable of emitting a current. Basically, an electric eel, like a lot of electric fishes, modifies its musculature to provide a source of direct current.
Housed in double bags, the eels are gently eased into the holding tank. Immediately, they begin to gracefully swim the perimeters of their temporary hold. Once transferred to the backup tanks, the variety of Amazon fish begins a quarantine period, which can last anywhere from 3 to 6 weeks.
our main reason for quarantining fishes is first of all, is the health of the animals, to make sure they're eating and they're doing fine and get used to the captivity situation, and you can give